the game. And I guess with map number 1 being Inferno, we're just going to have to wait and see how this one turns out.
Absolutely. As you mentioned, this is Nemiga's map pick. And so, Saw, they have a better win rate on it. And so, you're thinking right now, well, what is Nemiga's point of contact? Have they got something prepared against Saw? Have they got an opportunity to snatch away this first map from Saw, a team that's looking up and shaping up to be the favored team of the two out of this map? So, same again goes for Vertigo. Saw picking it into Nemiga, a 50% winner over 4 maps Nemiga have, but a 38 over 8 for Saw leaves me scratching my head wondering, well, surely both teams have got something planned.
Surely they must. But at the start, Nemiga are going to take it slow towards Banana. All 5 players stacked up against this B site. Ooh, P coming through. Dodo will spot them out, but he takes quite a bit of damage from that, and now they'll aggress through. Information given. Smoke will block their entry for the time being. A little bit of gap to the left side of it, but won't be exploited by the shore side. We're seeing rotations coming in already, but the frags haven't just come in. Ooh, that's a nice pick there from Dodo, finding Jayo flying up from the sky.
No!
From Dark, he's able to find 2 kills already. Finally gets shut down, but it is a 2v4 right now. So much damage has been inflicted on the Nemiga side. They haven't got the bomb planted, and Lollipop has already fallen. Box, he's being completely overwhelmed by the CT defenses here of Saw. They're not getting the bomb planted at all. 3 kills, one after the other here from the Saw side. Box finding the last one. And that's going to be Saw with their first round of this game.
Beautiful. What a round for Saw, and it's just the main man himself. 2 kills on the back of the site caused so much confusion and a palaver on the B site. They just could not get anything done. And so heading into the second round, Saw winning the pistol, living life to its fullest. I believe that this should be a 3-0 for them right now. This should be a very, very strong side that should be able to take down these pistols. And heading into this round, it should be fairly a bog standard protocol for them. They've got SMGs. That could be the money makers. And right now, well, time is ticking away ever so slowly, right? It's working against Nemiga. They have to make their move shortly. And right now, I mean, they haven't done all too much. Now they do. MD has to find the first. Beautifully done, but Lollipop with another. And this is where it becomes quite interesting for Saw now. With 1:10 to go, the bomb finally going down. And Nemiga, a great chance in winning this one.
They do indeed. Already with those 2 frags, Saw realize that the A site is so damn hard to take, especially when they've got that 2-man disadvantage. I mean, the full spike coming in from Nemiga, looking fairly dangerous so far at the start of this game. And so they're respecting it. And a good thing too, right? Because even if they went in, they'd have to lose a lot of their rifles, and then they'd be not able to do much damage until the latter stages of this game. So Meteorius, he's doing good by holding back. He's able to find 1 kill so far from either balance, but Nemiga getting themselves that equalizer round is exactly what they want to keep themselves in the game early stages of this one. Surviving with 4 players as well, with Kevlar all around, will mean that they will be sticking on to the weapons they have at hand at this moment. But with a force bite likely to come in here from Saw, especially with those weapons that they have available for them, I reckon this is also going to be a very close round for the third one in Inferno so far.
Yeah, Nemiga bounced back in a huge respect, a response that's multiplied their lead and perpetuated themselves into a pole position, and admittedly Saw they can reinvest, in which they do so. There's a scout on Arky, there's an M4 across onto Stododo as well, 3 MP9s, Meteorius, Roman, and Just going to opt in for those. And as we continue to watch this game develop, you can only wonder, Nemiga, well, 3 AK-47s, if this round is a catastrophe for them, you can only wonder what those rifles are going to do in the Saw hands. So they've got to make this round count more than anything. But at the same time, considering they have the rifle lead, considering they have every advantage over the Portuguese side, this should be quite an easy round for them. Lollipop looking for his entryway towards Boiler. Arky going to lock the angle down, but MP9 towards apartments has made noise, and MDS bringing the rotate quite possibly around. There's the smoke deep, and it is going to be Just alone on this B site. And Bomb swung out towards second mid. They're not exactly going to jump at the gun for the A site, but the options are very much there to rotate to B. And as they retake this banana control, Nemiga, they have options. A beautiful first kill from MDS, and that is a great start, but the smoke to stop the push, and with 45 seconds to go, Nemiga have to make their move quite quickly, and by the looks of things, they're going to be comfortable going back towards A.
They are taking it back. The bomb being planted, well, the bomb to be planted towards the B site. One player holding it. Could be the detriment of sort. They need to find these entry frags as they look to push through. Mutiris, he's going to come up close. But is it going to be in time? Already rotations coming in. Every single player from the Saw side has already approached. Box is able to find one kill though. Even though the bush is taking some time for it to come. Box, he's able to find one. Dodo not able to find his footings, but finding a kill from above. Drops down. He's able to find spray down. So much damage onto the Nemiga side. A couple of bullets should do it on the few players of this team right now. At this balance, the most health points worthy player of this team so far will be doing most of the damage at the latter stages. But it was absolutely vital that he found those kills in the end, or else they would have been in big trouble. Saw, with that force spy, did challenge them quite a bit. Rotations did come in time as well, but the smoke wasn't quite there for them. Not quite able to finish off the final frags, and that is what costed them this round. Nemiga, with 2 rounds now, are able to get themselves this lead. And with Saw to eco-buy, it's not looking so good for them. Third one to be collected here from Nemiga, quite likely.
Yeah, beautifully done from Nemiga, who continue to extend their lead. My belief still very much in Saw. I can't let my predictions get hurt any more than yesterday, so I'm riding on Saw winning this one. I can't lie. My last one of the whole tournament, it's got to be right. Well, second to last, actually. I do have one tomorrow. I tell many lies. But Saw, in this round, 5 USPs, as you mentioned, the eco, full eco at that. Not a penny invested into this round. Not even a cent. And the utility on through towards B. All 5 players stacked up towards construction. If they had a flashbang, God, this could be problematic. But in fact, they push on through. Beautifully done. Roman to find one, but only good for one. The USPs continuing to rain out damage, but they just cannot convert. Eye disbalance nails to Dodo through the smoke, and it all leads it down to Roman. The only man against 4. Box is on low HP and so could find a kill. But ultimately, at the end of the day, it's Lollipop to gun Roman down with the Glock. A third on the board for Nemiga, and they extend their lead to 2, but the buy round yet to come for Saw, and this could be a huge round up ahead of them.
It looks huge indeed. I mean, at this point, Saw, they'll be getting themselves a buy round. They'll be looking to get themselves back into the game. Nemiga, I don't think they'll want to make it that easy for them. Especially with that round here. Make it fairly clean. Saw, challenging with the pistols, right? They did get the right read on. They knew exactly what was going on, but just didn't have enough weaponry in the arsenal to just deal with it. Aggression may come out here. No, it is Box to push up on through Banana. Won't be greeting anyone just yet. But the havoc being created towards the A site as well, the movement coming in from apartments does keep Saw second guessing. Arky may push through, but peeking out wide, Lollipop will reveal himself. He's able to find that first frag, and new terrorist now. Oh no, that's a brutal shot for Eye Dispan to miss. I was praising the guy that pre-game. He's been doing such a stellar job so far this week, but no, won't be able to bring that success onto this round as he does fall and drop the AWP as well. Potential for it to be saved the next round. Jayo though, he finds the opening onto B site. If the rotation does come in from MDS, if he manages to push through, get himself that bomb to the B site without dying, that might be possible for them. Especially if Jayo gets himself on the back line there, close to CT. Peek coming through, MDS wins off on that trade, and now we'll try and collect the bomb. Total B control here from Jayo. Rotation coming in, he finds a frag, and now the round has turned right back in Nemiga's favor. Saw, at a numbers disadvantage, it's all Roman that has to deal with this 1 versus 2. And with the bomb to get planted shortly, he has to find this cross. Double peeking through, he's able to find one, but Jayo, he fires a refrag. Simple maths, 2 win it versus 1. And Nemiga, they win 1 more. While Saw, it was so close. They could have won that, but no. They couldn't quite pinch that one out.
I mean, what a round though for Saw. Big damage done once again. That is unreal. Yet again, they just get pipped at the post. It's not exactly like it was a close round. It was not like Nemiga absolutely stomped them in that sense. It was fair dues. It was Saw that tried to do the damage. They got the early man. They just could not win in the later rounds. The peak towards middle was probably the most costly bit of it all. The rotation should have happened, and unfortunately, Saw get caught lacking. And it's now back to the chalkboard, back to drafting up next round's tactics. Round 6's implementation into the server right now. So they need to find a way to circumvent these rifles. They've got to cut where it hurts most. They've got to find that moment where they can go snap and take the round completely off guard. And right now, Nemiga, They're going to continue to apply that pressure, and we know that they're a team. They're like the pressure cooker of them all, right? They're a team that arguably, you know, by no means the favourites in this scenario. I think the odds actually by Gandam were, but it's basically even. Saw were slightly advantageous as far as I remember. And that is because, yeah, it was actually dead even. Dead even. 1.83 to both sides. But, as I was saying, it is because these sides have faced 10 times. Or rather, they played 10 maps against each other, and it's gone 5-all. There you go. Odds on screen. Saw now slightly down, admittedly, because they are 3 rounds down. Soon to be 4 because of the pistols. But yet, Nemiga, they could get counted upon as long as Saw deliver. And heading into round 6 with a minute left to go, they are just using this time to hold on. Notice how they're not playing aggressive. It's like, say that. Beautiful damage done. Jo, even more damage spammed through that smoke. Does he spot out Dodo? Yes, he does. Beautifully done. The execution now on in towards the B side. Arky caught in the Molotov. Does do some serious damage, but yet to convert. An eye disbalance, nailing Uterus through the smoke. And it's all down to Roman.
Oh, Nemiga look like they've done their homework on this one here on the B side. No Saw setups and had exactly the right mollies prepared for it. It was a pistol round though. It wasn't expected that Saw could win this, but it is pretty much uncontested. No kills found and pretty much no damage. Just Joyo, I mean, he pushed up aggressively. Was bound to have a few bullets inflicted upon him. And Lollipop does scout out Roman from behind. So Nemiga, very good start from them, showing that they've done their research on their opponents. 5th round for them and could keep on extending this lead. Though Saw, they're not going to make it easy for them. AWP picked up for now from Stododo, and we know how dangerous this man can be on it. We saw it yesterday, right? He was a difference maker on many of those rounds, and he was one of the reasons why it went to a 3rd map. But now, Nemiga, getting to that 5th, they look comfortable as ever. While Saw, it may look like they may have to drop one more. And if they do, it will look bad. They'll have to drop another couple. That's how it goes here on the CT side. You can't really grow that economy that easily, even with the loss bonus to come through. But Fox pushing up, he's able to find a nice quick kill onto Muteris, finding that numbers advantage, and now rotating towards the A side, trying to pincer in the CTs. But Roman, he's going to have to hold them off. Spray down coming through, 10 HP onto Jo, but he finds a headshot, and then that's all that matters. Now, the only 2 players left for the Saw side are on B, and they're going to have to save this one out, realizing that all their teammates have fallen. Nemiga to get themselves a 6, and Saw, they're just wondering, where did the past 6 rounds go?
I'm stunned. Somehow Nemiga just continued to develop and perform on the highest calibers. It doesn't matter what site they pick, they seem to just beat them every single time. Saw had great chances 2 rounds ago when it was 1-3. You know, that 5th round. In a 4 versus 2, they still managed to throw away the round, and Nemiga pick it up, and they continue to perform. I mean, considering 3 players of Saw have dropped, they've only done 90 damage. This AWP might just be the difference maker in terms of HP. And Stododo and they are just going to save their rifles. There's no need for them to overextend and give up even more rifles into the wrong hands. A double-up setup, obviously, not going to be too ideal for Nemiga, but it's the fact that it's money removed from the CT economy is what's so tantalizing for Nemiga. So heading into round 8, it's all about damage control. Saw, having won the pistol, they've dropped 6 in a row. And now you can only scratch your head and wonder, when will Saw's response be heard? Because right now it's Nemiga drowning them out in every aspect.
Yeah, and it's a ballsy play for Nemiga to even pick this map in the first place. Like Saw, they're no strangers to Inferno. They're really good at them. And Nemiga, beating them at their own game at the start of this round, really plays with the morale. I mean, Saw, one of the oldest rosters here on the main Swiss stage, right? One of the most experienced lot coming in here. So they know how to calm their nerves, but still, they're human, right? If they get under pressure, they'll feel it, and then will underperform. They will make mistakes, but he's able to find a nice quick pick. Nearly finds a second, but Box is able to shut him down. But they are lining up here. Smoke coming out here from CT to block out Muteris. We know how dangerous that position can be with a Deagle. We've seen so many godlike plays from it, but he'll back around. Double back on that as well, as Lollipop will be pushing aggressively onto this. Muteris will have to fall back as the smoke does get recalibrated into that angle. And Coffins as well, with the point of contention, as Stododo makes his way towards Coffins. And he will be holding one at a time. Muteris holding down the line as well with him. But Stododo, he's a one-man army right now. Nemiga peek out with 1 player at a time. And all of a sudden, there are no more terrorists on their side. And Arky just finds Box as well. What's around there from Saw?
That is beautiful. You could not have asked for a better round. Stododo is an absolute monster. Finds himself 2 kills here. And I wonder what they were thinking. There was no flashbang. There was no smoke. There was nothing to flush the AWPer out. And you're totally right in saying, EXWARRIOR, that Nemiga, they look very confused on that. Very, very confused. They just kept peeking into the same angle. What do you expect when you run into Stododo? My God. A beautiful round for Saw, though. Let's not discredit them in any sense. The peek on out, though, eye disbalance, catching him out early doors, and see, yet again, it is Nemiga that find themselves the man advantage. Grenade doing big damage onto J.O. And with 1 minute and 35 to go and time ticking away ever so slowly, Saw not exactly in the best of places, considering they are the man down, but the HP difference is negligible. And so at this stage, you can only wonder, well, Saw, their next move, quite honestly, in a 4 versus 5, is to go aggro. You are the man down. You have to fight for that back. And you've done big damage with utility in the early stages. So what's not stopping you to try and extend that lead now?
Exactly right. Lining up towards the B site. They're going to find it completely deserted. Saw dedicating most of their players towards the A site. Losing Stododo early on will cost them. Now the bomb will get planted, and a 4 versus 4 retake on the B site of Inferno is a tough task. It's not a task that Saw are looking to tackle right now. Conceding this one out, and Nemiga getting themselves this one. All down to the hands of information. And Saw, I mean, they had a really good round earlier, right? Stododo really clutched that one up, but it wasn't really due to a tactical play. It was just the pure performance of Stododo and perhaps Nemiga's misplay. By all means, Saw aren't doing bad at this point, getting themselves that second, but I feel like Nemiga is the team that is controlling this game so far. It feels like whenever they're playing well, they're going to be able to find themselves around, but whenever they're misplaying, Saw will be able to capitalize on that. So far, Nemiga is driving on the game, but Saw, yeah, they still have a chance to capitalize back on that.
Beautifully done, Nemiga. Bounce back. 4 rifles saved, though, for Saw. So this is a crucial round up ahead, right? Yes, Nemiga are at 7, but Saw, if they can find this round, piece it together, big damage done to the economy. Nemiga obviously enabled to reinvest time and time again, but it's just the start of the bumpy road ahead of them. Heading into round 10, Saw need to pick up the pieces, need to find something. And this is the best opportunity to do it. Stododo's reinvested the AWP. You've got 2 AKs in the hands of Utiris and Roman. There's an M4 as well. In fact, a double up setup. Arky's got one. I didn't even spot that. And so, for Nemiga now, this could be the most trouble that they'll be in all game. But we know that pressure cooker against Saw might just be the detriment to them within the round. And Arky missed shot. Re-aggressive. The AK's there, though. Big shot from Stododo. Back and forth we go. Arky dropped from the round, and it's a 3 versus 3. Utiris waiting for the push through the smoke, but it just will not happen. They've already flooded out towards apartments. Utiris now going to have to make the flank onto site to deny the bomb plant. And there's a player in pit as well that could deny, but he might be looking the wrong way. And this could be perfect for Utiris, but no. Lollipop, beautifully executed, is now in a 2 versus 3. Saw, they're bent and broken, and it's all because of this man on screen, as he's got a 3k within the round already, and he'll be looking for more within it as the AWP and the M4 scatter away and hibernate once again.
My. Nemiga, they got themselves that 2 for 2 trade, but it opens things up there from the CT side, right? Because if Saw don't win off those trades, it opens up a gap into the defense, and that's exactly what Nemiga exploited previously. Now, 2 players left on the wrong side of the map, not quite able to do too much from this. We'll have to concede this round once more. Nemiga really keeping up the pressure. And my, oh my, it's just dangerous, right? I mean, they have the double AWP setup this time. A really expensive enforcement coming in from the Saw side. I mean, they could afford it, saving up with 3 players the previous one, but it just feels like right now they're not able to contest too much, right? I mean, once more, we're seeing the save. It is one of those anticlimactic things that you see a lot here in Inferno, especially when you lose a numbers advantage and the bomb site is taken from the T side. You see these saves all the time. It is something that we'll be seeing across the game. It is something that you always see here in Inferno. It seems like Nuke and Inferno are the 2 maps that tend to do that. So, but I do want to see Saw challenge a little bit early on the map. I do want to see them a little bit more proactive and not afraid to take an aggressive start. So far, they're holding back. They're losing out the trades. Potentially, they want to change up the tempo to surprise their opponents, because what they're doing right now isn't really working.
Absolutely not. They've got to change something, and as you say, the tempo of this game just seems to be all in favor of Nemiga. They always give up this control. You'll see quite quickly that they don't want to peek into Nemiga on B, probably because it's a very risky play. And J.O. edging his way around the Molotov. Actually, Stododo, this damage could do, this nade, excuse me, could do big damage. And MDS tagged down to 65. And they haven't said all too much so far in this one, I feel like. He hasn't really been a star performer. But in this round, it could all change. Arky catching out Lollipop, beautifully done. Jo now going to move on forward, and he catches out Just. And Stododo on the other side of this smoke does get tagged up, and he fires off another shot. Utiris to spam through, and saw yet again a back and forth round transition to a 4 versus 4. They need to find themselves the man advantage. Box up close. They don't spot it. Arky going to be executed, excuse me, by Box. The Dink bin found a conversion by Utiris. The Orpivide disbalanced though. Not good for a second. And now the M4 rain in hell. And in a 2 versus 2, this might just be the chance for Saw to find 3.
They may indeed. It is a 2v2. Jo and Dark, Stododo pushing through now from Coffins. He may be able to find the damage, but MDS will get spotted out. It's all up to Jo. He finds a headshot onto Mutiris, but it's not quite enough behind the spray down to Stododo. And that's the clutch that Saw needed. Went for the retake, got themselves the kills, and all of a sudden Saw are back into the game. Third round picked up, and I mean, Nemiga, they've solidified the fact that they'll be ahead on half-time, but Saw, they definitely can close down the gap. And finding a confidence play like that is exactly what they need to get right back into it.
Beautifully done. Saw needed that round, and if they can continue to I guess, enhance and sharpen their tools, then this could end up being an 8-7 half. Saw just need to find their ground, need to find their footing, but Nemiga, once again, the money too strong, they just reinvest like nothing happened, and they continue to work on forward. Utility deep, and this is where Saw, they burn lots of early utility towards Banana, to try and basically flood these players out completely, and then look, they gamble towards A. They try and fake effectively the B take, the Banana control, and the Portuguese side, they don't go for it. Instead, they look elsewhere, and it might just work because Bomb is there, and there's another 3 players patiently waiting alongside. As Just is going to be smoked off, and he might even choose to aggress on through instead. Molotov towards Boiler has forced Lollipop away, and he'll continue to spam out of anger that he can no longer hold the angle down, and that Saw have resumed control of it. So the Portuguese side manipulating the play very well right now. They're keeping Nemiga in their pockets, but we know that Nemiga are the type of side to just absolutely explode and destroy. Push on forward. Arky needs to go huge. He's good for 1. Do they spot the second? Just beautifully done. I disbalanced. The grenade is going to do big damage to Roman as well, and now into a 3 versus 2, but Mutiris still has eyes on the bomb. Swings wide, misconnection. And in a 2 versus 3, that is a costly one. Box going to swing, needs to find a kill, does so. Orp holding, finds the shot. Stododo against 2. P250 and an AWP alongside a smoke and a flashbang. And he's got to find everything within the round to find Saw their 4th.
This is looking tough here from Stododo. The bomb could go towards the B site. They do use all their util to get to it. The smoke will cover Shax there on mid. And it's down to a 1v2. I mean, he's a master with the AWP, but the ultimate clutch weapon is that AK-47, and he does pick it up. 1v2 is the name of the game right now. Bomb barely has the time to get planted. He will be holding down the ground, but he spots out this Idis's balanced foot. The same couldn't be said for Idis balance, because the Dodo, he catches him off guard, and all of a sudden it's up to Jo to clutch this one up. 1 versus 1. Flash coming out onto the site. It just depends how aggressively the Dodo looks to take it, but no! The timing is not in his favor. Jo wins that one out, and Nemiga get themselves a knife by Saw, scratching their heads. How can these rounds be so close, but not allowing them to get themselves a wins? It just hurts.
You can't write a better story for Nemiga. Once again, the reinvestment better than that of the buy. They just invest once again and they make it look too easy. 9-3 the scoreline. Saw, you've got to hope that they pull out something magnificent on their T side. For our predictions to go 2-0, it's just not looking too likely now, and especially on a map like Inferno, when Nemiga are picking it into Saw, they make this map look too easy. They make it look like that 71% win rate that Saw have should be shamed and frowned upon, but it really shouldn't. And Nemiga manipulating the play too well, making this look way too easy, and heading into round 13, they're going to look to continue to do the same, to tick them over to double digits, and zeroing inside 13 would be magnificent, and early utility towards B might just be the right steps within the round, as it is going to be already the man caught out by Idis balance with the AWP, and so there is only 1 player towards B, and Just is going to be the only man left to hold down, quite possibly 5 players funneling right into his crosshair.
Now, Nemiga. They're splitting things up. 2 players across A, 3 players across B, slowly taking it towards the B site as it looks like. But this movement here from Saw is gathering quite a bit of information. Knowing that there's nothing going on A will sign the alarms that the rotation should come on towards the B site. Now they're realizing, now a couple of players are rotating already with player in library, 1 in CT. It looks like they are having the read right. With the aggression coming in from apartments and mid, they know that something is going on and they may be able to deal with it in time. But the smokes will come in from an Nemiga. They need to make this push happen fast, but Dodo peeks through. That's the right read. He's able to find 1 frag and now will give the boost to his teammate. Push coming through right now, but MDS gets the spray down to Rome, and all of a sudden things get turned right back around. Just is able to find 1, but Idisbalance finds a 1 for himself. A double boost coming right through. Materius finding 1 spray down in that location, but the bomb is getting planted. Has been successful in doing so. Lollipop, he goes aggressive, finds himself a kill. And Materius, he's all by himself right now, scratches his head. Where on earth is his team? But he's got no time to think. He needs to find the kill, but Idisbalance, he holds the right angle. He holds the right kills. And Nemiga get themselves on double digits, while Saw, they're left in a very tough economical spot.
The penultimate round of the first half, and they will have to eco it. They don't really have all too much money to bring into this one, so we could see the Armored Desert Eagles being brought out across the board. There could be a scout possibly in the mix as well. By the looks of things, they opt against it, and this will just be about trying to be punctual with damage rather than going for kills. So they're going to try and make it an 11-4 half. They're going to try their best at it, but I just don't see it happening. Idisbalance delivering with the AWP. There's been some insane rifle rounds as well for Nemiga. And for Saw, this just isn't a comfortable position to be in. This isn't a great position at all. Just going to get naded out. That flashbang, really good, but just playing 4-3 has finally spotted out the man after the shots are rung out. Box has found 1, a second, and now the B aggression could be in on through, and Muterius will be the only man to try and hold things down.
They will try and hold it down indeed, Retro. But it is looking tough at this point. Nemiga, they've got so many rifles at their disposal. Their weaponry just out-sustains Saw as well with the utility they have available for them as well. But they are going to get themselves the push onto the site. Not going to be greeting anyone so far, but Materius holding down coffins. He could do some damage. Smoke goes a little bit wide. There's a little bit of a gap through it if I'm not mistaken. And he could do some damage if he finds the right angle from it, but Saw, they're going to go for it, and I like this from them. Seeing some aggression, throwing it right back again, and showing that Nemiga that they're not afraid to stay into this game is exactly what they're looking for. But without those frags, they can't find entry. They need to find that first frag, and without it, it is a lost cause for them. They may even look to save the Kevlar if they don't find it, but Nemiga, they're not going to peek through. They're holding it safe. They know exactly what they have to do to win this round. They know exactly what they have to do to stay ahead here. And Saw, they can't capitalize on any mistakes because there aren't any. Quite frankly, Nemiga playing this excellently so far. Although Materius aggresses through, he's able to find an exit frag, and Box will stick around on site and will be losing his life. Nemiga coming away with a win, while Saw somewhat make it fairly expensive, but to what prevail, right? Nemiga, they're pretty much ahead at this point. Even if Saw win the next round here, win the last round of the half, I think Nemiga are more than happy with this one.
No, absolutely. At 11-3, you've got to realise that Saw, even if they are to win this round, even if they are to tip it to 11-4, you've got to wonder and how on earth Saw are going to bounce back. You've got to think it's their map pickup next to Vertigo, so it's okay if they drop this. But when you look at a map like Vertigo, Saw have only won 3 of 8 on that map. They've only won 3 out of 8 times they've played it, and of the 8 that they've played, I do believe it hasn't been against phenomenal teams. It hasn't been to the caliber that Nemiga have been playing against on Vertigo. They've played Windstrike. Admittedly, we watched that game, or rather, excuse me, no, we didn't watch that game. It was 16-13 on Vertigo for Windstrike against Saw. And then they've also lost against Sinners on it, 16-7. Admittedly, they took Copenhagen Flames to overtime and won, but that just isn't enough. That is, in my opinion, that's nowhere near the score lines that Saw need to take Vertigo away for themselves away from Nemiga.
They are in a very tough spot. You said it completely right there, Retro. At this point, they're looking in a really tough one. And especially Nemiga really having the confidence to pick up this map. It just shows that they're not scared. It looks like they're prepared as well. Everything that Saw throw at them, they're ready for it. Although what I haven't seen so far from Saw is that early aggression. We haven't seen too much of that. And I don't think they have any time to show it anymore. Box will get Roman down with that molly, burn him to a crisp, while Lollipop finds one with his AK. It is a 5v2. I can already see that 12th on the scoreline. And there's really not much Saw can do about this, right? Idisbalance holding down the right angle here from Just. Simple one tap click onto his body. It's Sedona will try and challenge, but he'll just take some damage. One deagle shot should do it. The gap coming in from behind as well. Nemiga with 12, that's very, very impressive. You need to give credit where credit is due because he's starting off this map extremely strong. Extremely strong. And with a pistol round to come through, if they win that one, they could potentially win another 3, and that's going to get them on match point. That sounds very dangerous to me. And if I'm Saw, I'd be shaking right now.
Yeah, this is just unbelievable. I don't believe it. I just... How have Saw let this happen? This much of a gap. They're on CT side. Bear that in mind as well. And to only pick up 3 rounds, you now are... This is panic mode. If you are Saw, this is just... You couldn't have asked for a worse half, in my opinion. Even a 15-0, I feel like... Obviously, it's more brutal, but this is definitely up there. And they need to find change. Nemiga, now on the CT side. Boxer's got a kit, and he has dropped over a P250, or maybe even Jewel Beretta's, considering he's on no dollars. It might even... No, it can't be Jewel Beretta's. It's got to be a P250, right, on JO. And I guess $100, I don't know where it's gone.
P2K to me.
I have no clue. Maybe. Maybe not. Lollipop's 2K. Has peeked on out. Does get some information. Nice headshot on the first. Just removed. MD has to follow suit as he drops Arky towards apartments. And in a 3 versus 5s, so I need a big play, and Roman could have been the man to do it. Denied though. The bomb going down. Mutiri's gonna get tapped down. But Stodono doesn't even get the plant. He whiffed. Completely fumbled it. Lollipop to pick up the last as Balance falls. And it's a 13th on the board for Nemiga. And more importantly, no cash injection for them.
Man, I think if you're Saw right now, you're probably already thinking about the next game. And Nemiga, they're not showing any signs of slowing things down. Already on the CT side, already getting themselves those so good MP9s. They'll be looking to delete so many players here from the Saw side. And they're going for the eco, right? They don't want Nemiga to get themselves on that very dangerous 15th. They will allow them the 14th, but they want to challenge with a full-on AK-47 buy from that cheaper T side that they do have. And I think that is actually the best bet of winning a couple of rounds here on the T side. And obviously, the difference is really far apart, right? They are having that 10-round differential between them. But little by little, they might be able to grow it. Me saying right now that Saw can come back is a little bit optimistic, right? But playing in this caliber, you have to believe. You have to play every single round as if it is your win depends on it. And if Saw are able to come back, they may even be able to surprise Nemiga with their confidence. And I think that's what they will do. I don't think they'll give up that easily, right? I don't think they will. But Saw, they're going to hold back. And you know what this gives them right now? Holding back is basically acts like a second tactical timeout for them, right? They don't need to play aggressive. They could go aggressive and die instantly, but they just lose time. This is just extra discussion time for them. Figure out what they want to do differently for the next few rounds. And also, keep Nemiga busy. Keep them figuring out what is going on. We're not winning a round right now, so maybe we're not on that winning streak that we thought we are. Arky finding that first frag, heading onto the side, but Lollipop could greet them with a ton of damage.
Oh my god, Lollipop! Lines up 5, it is the eco, it is the pistols, but that is just insult to injury. If you're already bleeding out Saw ever so slowly, you've just punctured another hole within their already torn apart body. Beautifully done, you could not have asked for an easier lineup. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that is as easy as it gets for him. Beautifully done. The execution was perfect. Nemiga 14, Saw 3. And we said 2-0 to Saw, but I'm scratching my head and wondering right now what on earth is going to happen on map 2. If Saw can't deliver today, then what's stopping Saw from losing out on map 2, losing their map pick, and Nemiga making this an incredibly quick best of 3?
Yeah, it is looking tough. I would have expected a very close Inferno map, seeing how good these teams are on it, but it's been Nemiga all the way. I don't think I've seen a single solid Saw round so far. It mostly has been shaky at most, and their wins have usually been dominating on Nemiga's like insane mistakes. So Nemiga, I think they're playing this really well. I think they're just solidly denying their opponents, but at the same time, Saw is not really contesting at these unorthodox angles. They're playing extremely default right now, and they have been throughout the game. This is their chance to fake them out a bit, but I just balance finding the first frag is going to make it that much more difficult for them. MP9 as well on box on this angle. The AK-47 should win it out, but Lollipop, he's there for reinforcement. Coming in, Natiri's able to find a headshot, peeks out wide, but he's able to find the second. Perhaps the opening they need is this round, but rotations are coming in from JO as well. Arky finding Iris balance, MDS. He needs to come up huge if he wants his team to win this round. I don't think Nemiga will mind conceding one round here, but little by little does fill up the sack, as they say, but Arky will be shutting down MDS like that. JO will be falling down, but Shaw finally getting themselves on the board is exactly what they want. Bomb planted as well. 4 players remaining to defend. As JO, I reckon he's going to save his weapon. I reckon he'll look to drop one of his teammates a weapon the next round, as Shaw get themselves a 4th.
Yeah, I mean, I just read in chat, which was actually very correct, is right, this is Nemiga's map pick. So it doesn't really matter if you're Saw, like, yeah, you know, like, a map pick for Nemiga should be a win for Nemiga, but I think that the point we were trying to make is that Saw are bigged up to arguably the better team. They've got the higher win rate and more maps played in the last 3 months, of course, with a minimum core of 3. But it's just, you wouldn't expect to see a 14-4. Saw have a 71% win rate on it. Yes, it is Nemiga's map pick, but when you told me, you know, you were playing map 1 Inferno, Nemiga pick, I mean, maybe Nemiga take it. I don't think either of us expected it, but, you know, it was always the possibility that they could. And now, I mean, Saw are being completely blown out of proportion. It is the eco around the FAMAS, and the FAMAS is already gone. And in fact, we've got a new boost. And it's not exactly the Astralis boost in pool, but as Nemiga, as a Saw, swing around the corner and try and make their way onto site, they're going to be greeted with 4 USPs staring them down. And I don't think, if one person's dead, there's no way they make it out alive.
Yeah, you know what, Retro? I mean, to be fair, I really thought Inferno would be a close map, but I think the strongest contention point would be Vertigo, right? It was Saw's map pick. Nemiga also played that a substantial bit, and I think that would have been the closest map of the 3. And that's where I would have said, okay, maybe that is where the 1-1 happens, right? That is, I would have expected Nemiga to win Inferno. I would have thought Saw would have won that second map, and it would have mattered on that dust too. But there was a reason why I said at the start that 2-1 possibility for Nemiga is in the air, because Dust 2 being that third map, showing that they are so good in these frag-like positions, playing to the extent that they're playing right now in Inferno, as they're showing us right now. It just seems that Nemiga, even if Saw win themselves that Vertigo map, I do think that they should be able to get themselves Dust 2 on the way. So, yes, I was highly... if Saw was going to win that, and what I based that 2-0 scoreline for Saw at the start was on the basis that they could win Inferno straight out of the bat. Them losing it is me saying, okay, Nemiga probably a 2-1-0 right now. But guys, this is the map 1, right? This is just a prediction. This is me just anticipating what is going what is going to go on later in the stages in this best of 3. But so far, yeah, Nemiga are going to survive with 4 players. They will look to do some damage to the economy of Saw so they don't grow too much cash on their behalf. But it was expected they'd lose this. Of course, we didn't get to see that boost come to fruition. We didn't see it in action. Hopefully we'll see it another time, but I guess it wasn't this round.
Yeah, beautifully done. Bomb detonates, and it will be a 5th for Saw, but I think something to highlight as well is that at a point in time, Nemiga, they have to count their losses and invest, and this is the round to do exactly that. They are going to full buy, they are going to try and provide as much frontal force as possible, and I don't think they're going to be a side to shy away from a fight. They knew on the T side, when they took the jewels, when they took and anticipated the openers, they found it every single time, and so now, I disbalance on an AWP, he does have the spawn for middle, I can only expect a peek from him, and if he finds a kill, I mean, God knows what's going to happen, and it will tear apart the Saw side quite quickly.
You know what I appreciate, Retro? It's that people in chat say, the casters don't believe in the dream. The casters don't get it. It is going to be a 16-14 for Saw. I'm seeing that in chat, and I just find it very, very amusing. I mean, if they do,
I want it to happen.
What a treat. I'd love to be proved wrong. I'd love to see a 16-14 here from Saw. It would mean an excellent amount of CSGO, and it would show they'll be back into this game and make our predictions stand true, right? So I wouldn't mind that whatsoever, guys. Don't count me out of this, but I'd really love to see Saw do that. But as it stands right now, Nemiga is that far ahead. 14-5 is the scoreline. With a full invest right now onto the B side, it looks like they want to take it onwards. No scouting towards mid, although there is a lurker. Arky, I believe he is holding down apartments. In case someone pushes through, he will gain that information. But at the same time, Nemiga aren't going for that aggression either, not getting that information. So, solidly could get the rotate without spotted out. They do have Yuta to invest onto the second push and still have potential to take this on. But Nemiga, having 3 players on A, might be the good idea at this point.
And they are going to collapse, quite possibly, into Idis Balance's crosshand. Oh! He meant for the first player. He meant for Mutiris. And Roman just edges his arm out as he shoots. And it cost him his life as now a 5 versus 4. And Nemiga are the man up. And the M4A1S is going to continue to apply the pressure. A 1-for-1 is suitable, but when just double downs. It's beautifully executed. It's beautifully done. Idis Balance now going to be leading the forefront of the retake in this 3 versus 3. And all on Dodo and 2 AKs in the hands of Saw. Arky on low HP though. This really could go either way. But there's no kit on Nemiga, so they have to speed up this retake if they want it. They have to pick up a kit, ideally. Sododo going to get all the information in the world. Box, peeks on up. Orp connects. And now I think they're going to have to turn away and save. There's no cooling time for this team. They are going to continue to provide round after round. J.O. caught out. Just nails the headshot. And it will be a 6th on the board. It will be a round closer to that dream that the Portuguese fans are having of that 16-14. 10 rounds back to back they need to pick up without Nemiga slipping the side up once. And I mean, as much as we're sitting here and saying we want to see the 16-14 just because of the pure content and the predictions, but the content that would come with it would be unreal, right? And so we're rooting for Saw. We'd love to see the comeback, but at the same time, you've got to applaud Nemiga because right now they are decimating Saw in every stance. But Saw, they might just have the show on the road.
They may have indeed. And it's another eco round coming from Nemiga. Saw definitely have a chance to get themselves another round here. It should be favored. If they drop it, it's not good. Saw cannot afford to make any more mistakes here. They cannot afford to make a single one, especially at the stage of the game. Nemiga, as soon as they get a punish onto their opponents, they should be able to carry it through and finish off the game. They are so close to it, right? But Saw, they're challenging. I think they're focusing right now. They realize that let's put Nemiga on edge. Let's not allow them to be so confident heading onto the Vertigo side. Even if they lose it, they show that they're still contesting, even if they're so back on that deficit. And it just proves to their opponents that they're a scary prospect. Even when rounds don't favor them, even when the scoreline does not favor them whatsoever, they're still a dangerous opponent. And that is exactly what Saw want to abolish in Nemiga's minds. But with the push coming through, 1 frag already going to the Saw side, it looks like they are going to take on this A-site push, and Lollipop has to deal with it all by himself.
Right now, it's all about the timing that Nemiga can get the jump onto Saw. With 35 seconds to go, if Lollipop goes unchecked here, he could actually be the difference maker, but he's already been spotted. And the Desert Eagle, it's good to find a first, but Arky just going to execute him and gunning on down from behind. The AWP on Idis Balance, of course, the only investment brought into this round, and so as the bomb goes down, they're all not going to be able to catch out much. The other 2 players might just be swinging in from possibly second mid apartments, that sort of area, to try and pick up quite possibly a rifle. But at the end of the day, I think this is imminent that Saw finds 7. But the question is now, what's going to happen on the rebuy? Nemiga, what are they going to do differently heading into round 22? Because right now it seems to be that Saw, they're obliterating Nemiga on this T side, but they only need 1 more round to force this to an overtime, 2 to win the map. And we know how easy it is to try and pick up these rounds and chain them together. Even when the momentum dictates in Saw's favor, it isn't hard to have a lucky round and to shift the momentum completely back into a level field.
Was Chicken just having a bath there? From sewer?
Well, possibly.
From sewer water? I'd like to see a replay of that, actually.
Of course you would. Of course you would. None of the kills. We just get the chicken
taking a shower. I mean, this is Inferno after all. One of the memeiest maps of the lot.
How dare you? It's the best map.
Of course.
No,
exactly.
Vertigo's
Memes are good.
Vertigo's the best.
Vertigo is the best. I wonder what chat thinks about that. But at this point,
what? I can't believe it. You don't like Vertigo?
No, I'm not a big fan. Not a big fan, I'm sorry. No, I'm not on that vertigo train, but Just will aggress so far. He will try his push here onto Banana. Molly coming out, Box forced out of position. That's Saw's first frag. That's what they need. Reposition coming in from Jayo, but Just finds the head. Beautiful shot there for him, and that will give themselves that 2-man advantage they need to head into the site. Potentially take it onto the B site, but rotations coming in from an Nemiga. They are playing this correctly. They are playing this slow. They're playing it collectively. Know they have themselves the advantage, and they just have to play around the map correctly to just end this map out. What I'm not seeing from Nemiga so far is the aggression, right? And at the same time, they're not expecting Saw's aggression. Saw is doing a stellar job in finding those entry frags so far. And even though there was such a big deficit at halftime, it looks like they're finding some confidence here and slowly but surely closing up the gap. Obviously, there's a big difference between themselves and their opponents, but you have to commend these efforts. You have to commend their morale heading back into this game. But the B site will be taken up here. Nemiga conceding this one. Even Lollipop falling back onto CT will give away that site, as Arky may try and get himself an exit frag. He's already at 5 digits of economy on that bank statement. He feels rich. But Nemiga, yeah, still on 14th. Nothing has changed for them for the past few rounds. And I wonder what they'll try and look to change for the next few if they want to get themselves this win sooner rather than later.
To be honest with you, I think Saw are doing everything right in this half. Look, they found themselves 2 kills. They found themselves the B site. And not only are they done there, they're going to continue to try and pressure the kills. And I mean, Arky not going to be successful whatsoever. And IDisbalance finding another. And so they found 2 rifles for the price of none. That's 2 AKs in the wrong hands. Admittedly, they've already got one on MDS. But a second one won't go without a miss. And Lollipop going to be gunned down. So this is exactly what I was talking about. Nemiga now are going to suffer more damage and more impact, and Saw know this. Now that more players have died than survived, you've got to think that that's going to have to be someone on an MP9, and admittedly Saw do lose 4 in the process, but they got plenty of money. At this point, it's sort of like that you know, no one cares. They're not going to care about losing money, because you know, if they lose another round, then it's going to go 15-14 or 15 whatever the scoreline will be, and then the reinvestment will have to happen anyway. And so for them, this is more like a YOLO stance, where they just keep investing. They keep throwing whatever they can at the Nemiga side to try and deal damage to their economy, and they've done exactly that. 3 people on Deagles, and so now heading into round 23, Saw have a perfect chance to make 9.
They do indeed. But Nemiga will be using those Eagles to their advantage. We'll try and aggress through mid at the start, getting some information, but we'll get shut down with a couple of mollies to lure them right back up through short and long. Though there is a lurker going on here, Just will be looking through. Box will be looking to push together with Joyo. A little bit of a buddy system brought up here, but Box, tasty frag there onto Just. He's able to find that beautiful frag at the start, giving themselves that numbers advantage, but that rifle's a little bit too far, too deep for him to be able to grab it out for himself. Therefore, still that Deagle still will be looking to do damage with that hand cannon. It looks like this chat is sold into the comeback trade. We're seeing hashtag comebacks all around, but Roman, he's able to find one and agrees with chat. They want this comeback. They want themselves to get themselves back into the game, but at this point, taking it towards the B side with 2 players holding it strong, 2 Deagles have to deal with 4 AK-47s. Does look like a tough ordeal. Smoke going to come through. Jayo looks to peek through, but he's in a very unorthodox angle here. If a flash comes out, he may be able to find one, but with the Deagle, I don't think he'll be finding more than that. Rotation coming in as well from Lollipop, coming in from CT. Smoke deteriorates as well from that point. Second one thrown out, but Arky, with the second smoke, they can still stick around here. Finally, another smoke coming in from CT, but it won't matter too much as the final player has come in dark. 25 seconds remaining. No time to fall back onto the A site. This is Saw's chance to keep themselves into the game. But Nemiga, they've got a solid stand up here. Lollipop with the AWP, looking for the frag. That's damage. The Dodo able to find the kill, but not finding the frags. And that will hurt them as Saw get themselves on site. Nobody left on the B site to defend. And Saw, they get themselves a knife.
What a beautiful execution from Saw. I don't think we'll be able to watch that one back enough, because at 20 seconds to go, they keep composure. They know there's a player towards dark as Lollipop fires off a shot, and at that point in time, they quickly realise that we've just got to overwhelm the site players while the AWP is falling back and basically cocking back the next bullet to fire the next bullet, to pull the trigger effectively. They've got to push and find the kills, because the more time they waste, it's time working against them to plant the bomb, and it's just giving the AWP more chances. And so it was beautifully done by Saw to keep pushing, to hold W key, to not allow Nemiga any space whatsoever, and it's a 9th. We were scratching our heads wondering what on earth is going to happen, and I do believe it was a 13-2 half, right? Or it was a 12-3 half.
Not quite sure on that, but we're going to have to check up on that. But it was fairly one-sided. And it's only rounds picked up. So yeah, it was a 12-3 round for the Nemiga side. So 14-9, the comeback is on its way. 6 rounds in a row now for the Saw side. Doing a stellar job in coming back at this point, but they need to keep it going. Double digits on the line here, and it's double up setup, hold it down from Nemiga. Last time they had the double up setup, didn't really go that well. They did have those early trades here on apartments, and they did fall down in the end, but now they need to fight things back. Saw with a solid advantage here, with a solid momentum in their veins, with the tempo solidly under their control. I just found this hold down the angle, but isn't quite able to find the kill there as he falls back with that molly to peek through. Roman, aggressive forwards here on short, trying to find his entry onto the A site is exactly what he's looking for. But no, holding back. Yet to pull the trigger on their decision, yet to decide that they want to get themselves and commit to one of these pushes. But Nemiga holding it down with 3 players onto the A site, 2 onto B. It's a standard hold for them. And so, we'll be reading that, right? They will be getting that information, seeing how much util is being thrown out onto the B side. But they are taking that slow out and approach. Not willing to make any mistakes. They can't afford any. We've talked about the Saw. They're in a very tough spot. Well, Nemiga, they just need that one round to put them right back into the game, get them that match point, and put their opponents on that difficult, stressing point where your opponents could win it with 1 round win. Now, smoke's now coming out, and Cinderay will delay them slightly. 40 seconds remaining on the clock. Last time when they got the push going, it was at that 20-second mark. Smoke once more. Jayo has to fall back behind the pillar. 30 seconds remaining. Oh, that's a good spray there from Box. He got that boosted position, but now has to fall down right behind the area there. He will be able to find some damage, but it is the Dodo finding the kill. All of a sudden, Saw kept themselves on site. Is she going to be thrown out? Does a little bit of damage onto Aki, but is that going to be enough? No. Nemiga, fall back again. One more time, and Saw find themselves on double digits. Things are starting to look tough here for Nemiga. Things are looking like Saw have got this game under control. They haven't dropped a single round here for the past, 6 rounds? And it looks to be a 7th? Saw, they're on a roll here, and they're looking to come back on Nemiga's side.
This is unbelievable. Me and you slept on this completely. At a 12-3 half, we both thought, okay, yeah, Nemiga win the pistol, they win the game, no problems at all. No. Not the case. Saw 10 rounds, 4 behind Nemiga. This has got to be one of the sickest comebacks I think we'll see in 2021 so far, if it's pulled off. And Nemiga finally take a timeout. This was going to be my point, right? I was brewing this up in my mind while you were going ham on the B site. Why did Nemiga not spend this long not taking a timeout to then take a timeout in this round? When Saw have that momentum? Why didn't they realize 4, 5, even 6 rounds in, which would have been silly? Saw have picked up many rounds in a row. Why don't we sit back and rethink? Use 30 seconds, clock out, think, rehearse, reset, get ready to go again. And now they do it, but is that going to be enough? Another 30-second timeout call. Saw now patiently waiting around for a minute, but at this point in time, Saw must be thinking, we've got them. We've got them beat. A site we can take, B site we can take. No matter where we go, Nemiga falls short. And so for Saw right now, they're just going to be screaming Vamos. They just want to keep going. They're ready to go again. Nemiga, timeouts galore for them in round 25. And chat is most certainly going to be happy about this one. It seems to be that the majority of them sitting heavily on the Saw side of things. And Nemiga, while their fan base is small, they'll still be cheering them on. So make your noise known. Are you a Saw fan or an Nemiga fan? Do let us know as we head into round 25. 14-10. Nemiga, they only need 2 rounds, but Saw, a 7-round winning streak. Will it be stopped now?
I wasn't quite sold on the Saw comeback, but up until now, with 4 rounds differential, things are looking doable here for the Saw side. Things are looking like they could come back. One by one, they bring themselves closer to the Nemiga scoreline. And now this is where they could actually challenge Nemiga. Double tactical timeout to come out. Back-to-back timeouts here for Nemiga. Looking to regather their thoughts, regather their strategies, rethink how they want to approach this game and how they want to play it. So far, playing it slow. That's exactly how they've been playing it throughout this game. But the lurking duties onto Lollipop, being the lurker for the team so far, hasn't been really working out for them. They haven't been able to find those frags early on in the game, and as soon as Saw find entry, they leave it into the latter stages of the round, and it means that Nemiga now have run out of util. That also means that they don't have enough for the retake potential, because Saw pretty much every time get themselves on the position where they can plant. And things are looking ever so tough. HQ going to be thrown out. Roman will be leading out the charge as they are looking to push both from short and long. Nice little push to come through. Material's holding down the ground. MDS finding that one frag. Lollipop here from Arch. He's able to find a nice quick peel. Material's, he's delaying that. He was focused on the middle there. But all of a sudden, Lollipop gets himself two, and Nemiga look like to get themselves back into the game. Sure, they're on that 10th round, but it doesn't look like they may be able to find the 11th. Lollipop shuts down Arky. Stododo, though, still in this. 1v4, not going to be possible. Nemiga on match point. And perhaps that's the tactical timeouts they needed to get themselves right back into this game.
Finally, it works out for Nemiga. And this is unfortunate for Saw, because now at this point, it's like, okay, we don't care. You buy every round. You've got to buy every round. And they now aren't facing possibly a map 1 win. They're facing an overtime scenario, and they need 5 in a row without dropping a single one. I can't lie. As much as I'm a believer in my 2-0 for Saw, I don't see it happening. Nemiga chaining that round together, it's going to cancel the momentum completely. And Saw are going to go back to the timid cells that we saw in the first half. The team that didn't want to peek, that didn't want to aggress, that didn't want to face in the early stages, and instead waited for those 30, 45-second executes. And oh my god, Jayo, through the smokes, through the wall after the nade dropped, has caught out the first man. Beautifully done. And now it's Stododo to rain hell on forward, but it doesn't matter. He's taken big damage to the AK. He's trapped in this close corner. He will be caught out by Jayo. A second frag found by the AWP. And now the cavalry has arrived towards A. And they've got to make this execute work. And I just don't see it happening if you're on Saw.
No, you don't see that at all. The moment I said that I believed in the comeback, it just looks a lot more tougher. It's the caster's curse, Retro. It's the caster's curse. Nemiga look to finish it off. 3 versus 5. It looks so possible for them. 4 players around the A site as well. They know what is going on. Lollipop able to find one. Box coming in from behind. Catches him off guard. All up to Arky. He knows what's up. 5 players. An ace. I think that's unlikely. Although he finds that first frag, he will try and go for it. Caster's curse still exists for a reason. Will try and go for the kill, but no. Jayo finds it. Crisis averted. Although it was a solid stack of rounds there from Saw, keep themselves and the morale high, Nemiga able to close out that first map, and it's Vertigo, I believe, to be played second, as it is going to be Saw's home ground. Stick around right after the break, because a lot more action to come.